Hello and welcome to my Pecha Kucha project on the imagination stage. Funny enough, I happened to cover this a little bit in my last Pecha Kucha on the Ice Wolf, so I am very excited to dive back into this theater. So join me on this imaginative journey to the imagination stage. The first of our few statements will be the mission statement. As they say, Imagination Stage empowers all young people to discover their voice and identity through performing arts, education, and professional theater. Their vision statement states, Imagination Stage envisions a future where theater experiences are a fundamental aspect of children's lives, nourishing their creative spirit, inspiring them to embrace the complexity and diversity of the world, and helping them overcome their challenges with hope, courage, and above all, creativity. Imagination Stage's values include inclusiveness and diversity by including all artistry, abilities, and talent, by welcoming and serving the diversity of their community and respecting the diversity of the world and work. And they also follow the commitment to IDEA, which is inclusion, diversity, equity, and access. In 1979, the Bethesda Academy of Performing Arts was founded, and 17 children enrolled in their first class at the Whittier Woods Elementary School in Bethesda, Maryland. In 1988, the Arts Access Program was stated for children who have physical disabilities, and in 1989, the Deaf Access Program was started. In 1992, they packed up their bags at the elementary school and found a new facility that was located at the White Flint Mall. While at the mall, they continued their education for the arts for young people, as it used to be an urgent need and still was, even if it was just in a mall. And then in 2003, they packed up their bags and headed to their current home, which is about 8 miles away from Washington, D.C. In addition to having their in-house productions, they also occasionally do tours. On their website, they also state that their actors are professionals working in the D.C. area, and many of them are part of Actors Equity, which is the Stage Actors Union. Imagination Stage does a 6-show season that runs from October to August. Then in addition to those main stage shows, they do smaller educational shows on weekends tending to younger audience members. They even have a drag queen book reading they do on Saturday mornings. Where can I sign up? Now, let's dive into their current season. So, they started off with Spies 2, Flight of the Hawk, Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed, The Rock Experience, Aquarium, Wake Up Brother Bear, The Hula Hooping Queen, which is currently playing now and we'll talk about later, and Nate the Great. Wow, I remember reading Nate the Great when I was younger. This is Janet Stanford. She's the founding artistic director of the Imagination Stage. Since 1993, Janet has heightened the profile of professional theater at Imagination Stage by commissioning more than 50 new works, adopting an Actors Equity contract, and successfully advocating for the inclusion of TYA productions. This is Joanne Sealing. She's the Artistic Director of Education and Theater for Change. She joined in 2014, and as the director, she leads the organization's school and community partnerships. The youth programming has also been featured in international festivals, national conferences, universities, and even on Capitol Hill. This is Jason Najome. He is the managing director of the Imagination Stage. He's held roles at Yale Repertory Theater, Baltimore Center Stage, ABC Television, and on Broadway. His arts experiences is augmented by several transformative experiences in the private sector. The Imagination Stage's current production right now that is playing is The Hula Hoopin' Queen, which is by Thelma Lynn Gooden, illustrated by Vanessa Brantley Newton, and directed by Angelisa Gilliard. And this production started in February and is closing this weekend. The Hula Hoopin' Queen is a story about Kamisha, who is confident that she will finally beat her rival Jamera and become the Hula Hoopin' Queen of 139th Street in Harlem. Her fingers start snapping, her hips start swinging, and soon everyone's hips are going to swing as the party spills out onto the street. Now, let's talk about some of the theaters that the Imagination Stage offers. First is the learner stage, which is a 3/4 thrust stage that can seat up to 364 people, and 9 times out of 10, this is where they host most of their main stage productions. Next is the Reeve Studio Theater, which is a smaller proscenium-sized space that seats about 142 people. Normally, when this is rented out, it's best for business meetings, workshops, lectures, seminars, music concerts, dance recitals, stage readings, and film screenings. You can also rent this space, by the way. In addition to their 2 other spaces, they have 9 other studios and galleries that are available for rental, which makes 11 different types of spaces that span on 2 different floors. All these spaces can be rented out for a fee and are normally tend to be used for rehearsals and performances, actually. Imagination Stage has a program called Theater for Change, which uses theater productions and educational workshops to bridge cultural divides and lift up underrepresented voices, and also explores complex social justice issues to help build a new generation of compassionate, collaborative children who are capable of changing the world. I will say I'm very impressed by how well they cater to their younger audience members that are 5 and younger. They hold these things called Saturday Song Circle, where every week they explore storytelling and expressiveness through themed play-based music activities as a learning childhood teaching artist explores a popular children's book with your family through song, instruments, and movement. Imagination Stage is a holistic theater arts organization for all children and youth. That's who they serve. But specifically, the productions in a learner family theater are for children 4 and up. And then in the Reeve Studio Theater, those performances and workshops are normally for kids between the ages of 1 through 5. According to GuideStar, their numbers aren't as large as they used to be, but they're holding steady. In 2022, they welcomed 23,000 guests. In 2021, just about 3,000 guests. 2020, they welcomed 46,000 guests. In 2019, they welcomed 68,000 guests. And in 2018, they welcomed 82,000 guests. Thank you so much for joining me on this presentation for the Imagination Stage. I hope you learned something new and have new inspirations for opening up your own children's theater company. So thank you and keep on imagining.